Independent Rob Skip from Atlanta.
What's good? What's
Skip,
good? What's good?
Skip.
What's happening, buddy?
Have
What's
you
good?
have you ever heard of Stockholm syndrome?
Stockholm syndrome. Nah, talk to me.
Man, you intelligent man. Well, Stockholm syndrome is a psychological response when a victim develops a bond with their abuser or they capture. So they call it syndrome, and it was actually created in Stockholm, Germany,
hmm
when people were captured out there, and they said that after a while, people that was captured, the victims, was actually started thinking like the people who captured them.
hmm
You see, so that's and they call it a syndrome. So that's why Stockholm syndrome. So that came from Stockholm, Germany. Point of the matter: is it true that Tim Hardaway Sr. has Stockholm syndrome? Because he seems to be the anytime somebody says anything bad about Pat Riley, he comes to his rescue. Comes to his rescue. And I think it's safe to say that Tim Hardaway Sr. has Stockholm syndrome. Ladies, now this man has nothing to do with the whole ordeal with Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley's. He has nothing to do with it. When he's coming to Pat Riley aid and voicing his opinion on something that has absolutely nothing to do with him. Does this man even work with the organization? Does he work with them, Skip?
I mean, I don't know if you work with him. I know you work. You do a lot of commentating. He work on Fox Sports or whatever. But me personally, why not come to Pat Riley's defense? Everybody's coming to Jimmy Butler's defense. Oh, he's a player. Pat Riley did this. Pat Riley did that. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, Jimmy Butler, you mad because you're not getting paid. So why can't
Yes, he should.
why can't Tim Hardaway come to Pat Riley's defense? This is not the first time, America, that Jimmy Butler has pulled this. This is he's been on what, four teams? This is the fourth team. What, Chicago,
Hmm.
Minnesota,
Hmm.
Philadelphia, now
Hmm.
Miami.
Oh
So I
yeah.
mean, now you're 35 years old. You haven't really played that much the last two seasons, and now we talking about what kind of Jimmy's gonna show up to play. Is depressed Jimmy gonna show up? Is happy Jimmy gonna show up? Is purple head Jimmy gonna show up? I mean, come on, man. You want $113 million extension, and keep in mind, people, he's already being compensated $56 million next season if he opts in. So
Hmm.
I'm like, dog, show us what you can do before we give you our money. So we're gonna lock ourselves
They
into
know
a
what he
bad
could do.
contract.
They know what he could do, Skip.
We,
What do
we're
you mean
not
you
paying.
showing what he could
We're
do?
not paying off of past experiences, independent, because if I'm not mistaken, the same man on the other end of the screen right here, he said
Hmm.
that Clay Thompson, excuse me, Golden State should have not given him $45 million. A man who contributed to four championships, won four championships. But we got Jimmy, whatever he want to be, depending on how the wind blow, went to a place that already had won championships. And what you went to the NBA Finals, and you still haven't came back with anything.
Twice.
Once in the
Twice.
bubble, you know what I mean. The second time he got a couple of breaks, but
Hmm.
he got his butt kicked both times he went to the finals.
Wasn't
He
supposed to
hasn't
be there,
won.
Skip. You know he wasn't supposed to be there, Skip. You know that. You know that this man has overachieved since he put on an NBA uniform. Period.
I agree with
You know,
that. I agree with that.
and let me land with this, Skip. And you're talking about you don't pay people for past experience. A lot of these guys are being paid for potential, things
Mhm.
they haven't even done. So if players can get paid for potential because NBA GMs feel that you have the potential to potentially do X, Y, and Z. Why can't Jimmy Butler get paid for what he has accomplished in this league?
Because hey, look, if an organization wants to pay you, fine. But you not showing up to work, you saying you don't have your joy working here, you can't not show up to work, bro, and you being compensated. He is being compensated for what he signed for. He's getting his 50-something million this year. If he opts into his contract, he'll get his 56 million next year. The problem is
not enough.
No, I mean, you getting paid for what you're doing. You want me to pay you before you even finish the job you already been paid. You already what you were getting paid for. He's getting paid right now. But now you telling me you don't want to come to work. You ain't happy coming to work no more because you thinking about after this deal up. No, man, it doesn't work like that, bro. You getting 50 over 50 this year. If you opt into your contract, you getting 56 next year.
Peanuts.
Nah, bro, the max, man. Cats who getting max is getting 60. So now you're not telling me
He's not even getting the max.
Now he getting the max for what he has. He's getting the max for what he has accomplished, for how long he's been in the league, and for his accomplishments. So that is the max, what the CBA allows him to get. So he is maxed. Now he wants to finish his deal and he wants to say, look, give me 3 more years. Bro, you ain't really played in the last 2 years. So if I ain't mad with it. If Golden State don't want to pay Klay Thompson, why should I have to pay Jimmy Butler? Like you said, I was advocating for the NBA to name an award called the Jimmy Butler Award for the biggest overachiever ever. And every player that comes to a team and he gives 100 and he's give more than what is expected of him, that award should go to him every year. But what Jimmy Butler is doing now does not represent a man I want to name an award after. It doesn't.
What? Just because you want to get paid?
No,
this is within the last. Now I think about it, Jimmy Butler might be their third biggest signing in Miami Heat history, behind LeBron and Chris Bosh.
No. See, Rob, and I'm gonna charge this.
I can't think about it now.
I'm gonna charge this to old age, and you forgetting about history. Jimmy Butler does not go above Alonzo Mourning in Miami Heat history. When Zoe came there, he changed that franchise. When Zoe came there, in what, 96?
He done nothing back then. Just got beat up by the Knicks. Well, go ahead.
Excuse me. No. Nobody knows anything about the Miami Heat without Alonzo Mourning. You know, I'm sorry tomorrow. But we're not going to disrespect Alonzo Mourning for Jimmy Butler. Now, was he a top 5 signing?
I like Ronnie Cycling, but go ahead.
You said free agent signing, though. You said free agent signing, and at the end of the day, that's still disrespectful for you to call that man's name in the same sentence as Zoe. But no, it's LeBron, Zoe,
Jimmy Butler,
Chris Bosh, then Jimmy Butler.
No.
Yeah.
Because I thought about putting Chris Bosh ahead of him. No. Chris Bosh was just an overpaid role player. So the greatest signings of Miami Heat signings, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Chris Bosh, then Zoe.
Wow.
Zoe did nothing in '96 but get beat up by Patrick Ewing.
Well, Zoe,
that's it. Only time they beat them was what, 97, when all them dudes got thrown out because of the fight. That Miami knew that they couldn't beat the Knicks. So being that they knew.
Man, look, we talking about schematics. We talking about politics, man. All I know is before he got there, we wasn't talking about no Miami Heat before Pat Riley got there.
Had Ronnie Cycling.
What about Ronnie Cycling? That dude wasn't even. Them dudes was a laughing stock in the NBA.
What about when Glenn Rice was there? So you're gonna forget about these guys?
Laughing stock of the NBA. Laughing stock of the NBA. But that so whoa, back up. No, the biggest free agent signing was Pat Riley.
No.
Then LeBron James.
No. Pat Riley, you know, I'm gonna call a spade, Skip. Pat Riley's overrated.
Whoa.
We sit there and we look at it. Not only he's overrated, he's outdated. Miami needs to get rid of him. He's not compatible with today's NBA.
And see, Rob.
Not compatible.
Well, and see, Rob, what you saying with today's NBA? Why do you have to be compatible, adapt, and change yourself all the way? Because obviously today's NBA ain't working. Because another topic that coexists with what we're talking about today, NBA, the problem with tanking. Because if you want to sit here and be compatible and say Pat Riley's not compatible with the new NBA, what the man supposed to quit? He supposed to let the players run the team? Like they used to say, we used to let the inmates run the asylum? Well, he's supposed to conform to what the NBA doing and playing their style of ball. He's supposed to let the players run the team?
Skip, he got to do something. You know why he got to do something? Because what he's doing doesn't work.
What do you mean don't work? Rob, back up.
They'll never win another championship unless LeBron go back over there.
Man, come on.
That's what I mean by don't work.
We are talking about a man who had already won a championship before he got there. LeBron brought 2 championships. Dwayne Wade had one before he got there. That's 3 champs. That's 3 chips over there.
And Dwayne Wade knew he would never win another one.
Well, they made the 2 finals. Well, they went to 2 finals without LeBron. They had Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Overachiever Butler. They went to 2 finals with. They didn't win.
Yeah.
You know how many franchises want to be where the Miami Heat is at right now? I mean, New Orleans are trade places with them right now.
None.
The Washington Wizards will trade places with them right now.
Because nobody likes Pat Riley bully tactics.
Look, Rob,
this man does.
The proof is in the pudding.
Hold on, Skip. This man does weekly body fat measurement tests.
Okay, and
if you over the certain amount of body fat percentage, you will be fine.
Okay.
Jermaine O'Neal, great Jermaine O'Neal. He said I left. I want a cookie every now and then.
And that's his prerogative. But you're
LeBron James.
You're not going to convince me.
Wait a minute, Skip. LeBron James.
Okay.
They told LeBron James not to eat the cookies.
Man, they ain't tell that man that. It on record.
On a plane. They told that man on a plane.
Pat Riley went on record and say that we're not going to be sitting here with you running this team, you, Clutch Sports, your boys. This ain't a hangout spot. Straight up. It's on record.
Skip. The man wanted some cookies.
That man said some cookies, man.
And he didn't want to do.
Okay.
This man, from my understanding, and what I was told, according to my confidential resources, they said the man have you followed around. And when you go to a restaurant, this man have people watching what you eat. This is what I'm hearing. You have what you, and they report it. So if you play for the organization, and mind you, it's not just the players. This goes to the coaches also. So if you're in a restaurant, somebody just run up, take your picture, quick, and run out the store.
This guy.
That's to believe.
Look,
they work for Pat Riley.
Let me tell you something. Let me know when the Heat has had a losing record since Pat Riley been there. Give me a time when they had a losing record. When have they consistently
they had some losing records?
But when have they been consistently irrelevant? When have they been Washington Wizards bad? When have they been New Orleans Pelicans bad? They've been more good than bad during Pat Riley's tenure.
Skip, that's over with. Because you know why? You say what you want to say, but they cannot get no stars down there.
Bro, they don't need stars. Jimmy Butler wasn't a star.
How do you have a place like Miami, nice weather, Florida, no state taxes, and you can't sign nobody? You can't sign nobody.
I mean, they want people. Dog, let me tell you something. They want, and I'm not a Miami Heat fan by any means. But I want players that gonna fit my system. This thing is a well-oiled machine. I'm a Laker fan, and they duped us. They had Gabe Vincent looking like he been the second coming of GP.
2002, 25 and 57. But go ahead.
That the next year they got Dwayne Wade. But back to my point, they get all these players. What to do? Gabe Vincent. We got him. He can't even get off the bench. But Rob Pelinka gave him that money because he filled the role in Miami, and the dude looked better than he was. The kid died.
2007, 15 and 67. Well, go ahead.
Dwayne Wade was hurt. But matter of fact, Rob, we want to pull up numbers. How many times? How many times though? How many times since Pat Riley took over they've had a losing record? You got it in front of the screen. No, want me to pull it up and want me to do the math? Want me to count how many times they've had a losing record in the 2000s? Because now you talking about this man don't work, but you got some franchises who's in the lottery every year. Every year.
Slave driver scared. Them guys are scared to lose.
Man, well, I'd rather be a part of an organization that's afraid to lose than a part of an organization who want to tank. Because at least I got hope that we're going to do something.
Skip, slavery's over.
I want to win.
Slavery's over. Slavery is over. Nobody wants to play for a man that's having to follow. Nobody wants to play for a man that's saying he want to install cameras in your kitchen. Nobody wants to play for nobody like that, Skip. Nobody. I mean, basketball is bigger. It's more to life than basketball. And I'm going to be the first to say, right here on the show today, Pat Riley must go. Pat Riley must go. He is not entwined with what's going on today in basketball. He's an old school basketball player, old school guy. They need some new blood in there. They need a GM that can get some talent out. Because it make no goddamn sense. You in Miami. One of the most Miami could be Skip. Miami could be the top landing spot for a free agent.
Man, okay, man. Okay, Rob, let's look at this. Championships. Pat Riley took over. Since Pat Riley has taken over, they won 16 division titles since 1997. They started winning division titles in 97. They got 16 of them. Then 7 conference titles, 3 championships. Come on, man. Come on,
thanks to LeBron. A lot of that's thanks to LeBron, man. A lot of that's thanks to LeBron. Because the 4 years he was there. A lot of that's thanks to LeBron, man, because of the 4 years he was there, man. The 4 years he was there. I'm just saying this, man. We're going to close out on this topic right here real quick. I'm going to say, pay Jimmy Butler or move him. It's just that cut and dry.
And let me say this before we close out. I'm not the independent Rob want people to give up people for peanuts. I'm not giving up Jimmy Butler for peanuts because once again, you don't run this organization. The Heat been here before you, they're gonna be here after you. If you want to get
send him to Phoenix, take Bradley Beal.
No, nobody wants Bradley Beal. Nobody wants a $50 million bum. I'm going on record saying that. A man who won't step on the court, a man who can't even stay healthy enough to stay on the court. I'm saying it on record. Nobody's paying $50 million for damaged goods. A man who don't have a no trade clause. Nobody's giving you that.
Overnight. I may have 25.
I don't care how much. I don't care how much he had the other night. I am not paying $50 million for Bradley Beal, and at the end of his contract, he's worth $60 million. I'm not paying him that. If I'm going to do that, I might as well keep Jimmy Butler. At least Jimmy Butler may get on the court. If Jimmy Butler don't like what's going on, I do what the LA Clippers did. And like they let Paul George walk, I let Jimmy Butler walk. I wouldn't do Jimmy Butler no favors. Walk.
Let him go there. Let him go there. Let him go. And let him go. And he'll come back and haunt y'all for the next 3 years.
And that's fine. But I'm not going to tie myself down, my books down, because, he want to leave. And it's bad business if I let him go for nothing. The LA Clippers did it. And they look real fine over there. They ain't going to win a championship with Paul George, and they ain't even going to win one with him. And the Miami Heat ain't going to win a championship with Jimmy Butler, and they're not going to win one without him. So save your money. Don't pick up a bunch of bums because they think that because you want to cater to Jimmy Butler. Hell, if he let him get his $50 million and call his bluff, if he opt in for the 56, then we go from there and we may trade you. But until you opt into that $56 million, kick rocks.
Move right along. NBA tanking. So like a lot of people, you know, they came up with all type of explanations and excuses as to why the NBA ratings are down. And you know, I mean, they went as far as going saying that too many they're shooting too many threes.
Style of play.
And that's forced. In basketball, the three-pointer is the second most exciting shot. Behind the dunk, you got the three-pointer, you got a mid-range shot, a layup, and a free throw. So the three is the second most exciting shot. So when they say it's down because they shooting threes, that's bullcrap. The ratings are down because the product is bad. And if we was to go to a restaurant, right, and the food is no good, we expect the line to be around the corner. So when you look at how many bad teams is out here, and then you look on the NBA schedule, right, and you go on NBA TV, and you look on the schedule, and you see OKC versus Washington, the Nets, the Jazz. Who wants to watch that? So when you start talking about it's down, here's the problem. Every team in the NBA has the same resources. So that's why I told you that time. I said, I'll go on a record to say that if an NBA team remains bad for a certain length of time, and I know they'd never agree to this, that team should be first put on probation. After that probation period is over, they don't get no better, then that owner should be forced to sell that organization. Because apparently you can't do the job. That's apparent. Because when you have this big disparity in talent, and people can look at NBA. Let's say you go to the NBA schedule. People go to the NBA schedule and pretty much single-handedly say, I know who's going to win this game. I know who's going to win that game. I know who's going to win. What is the point of watching, Skip? It only becomes good when we watch the game and we say, oh, that's going to be a goodie. That's when the game becomes good. And if the owners have the same resources, it doesn't make sense for there to be such a big disparity in talent. Both organizations, all these organizations got millions of dollars. All these organizations got scouts. They all have the same thing. Go find some talent. If you can't find no talent, develop talent. Bring some people in that could develop talent. But what you're doing, you're turning around, which is clearly unfair. You're turning around, tanking on purpose. You want Cooper Flag. You want Ace Bailey. You want what's the other kid? Harper. You want Harper. You tanking on purpose because you want these guys. As if a kid that's under 20 years old is supposed to come to your organization and save your sorry ass organization. I mean, if that was my 20-year-old kid, I'd be like, damn, I mean, I get it, it's part of the business, but that's unfair to that kid. That you want to bring them, and you can see a team like Utah really wanting to get Cooper Flag. You can see that. But he's supposed to come there and save your organization when y'all might have won 20 damn games? You know, so when you start talking about the ratings being bad, let's look at how many bad teams there are. Let's not just talk about ratings being bad. Let's talk about how many bad teams are they in the NBA? Because when you got a whole bunch of garbage out there, who is paying to see that? Let's look at the East, Skip. In the East, let's see, you got 9 out of 15 teams that's playing 500 ball, but 8 out of 15 teams that's playing over 500 basketball. Who's coming to see that? Who's coming to see? And then some teams has historically been bad. Washington, Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
These teams have historically been bad. This is why I'm going on record. I'm saying, yo, you've been bad for so many years. You're on probation. Figure that out. Make the right hires. Develop your plan. If you saying that your organization is a destination that nobody wants to go to, like a Utah or something like that, then guess what? You better develop who you got. You better bring some guys in here that you can develop, and you better bring some coaches that know how to develop young talent. Since no one wants to land there, but nobody wants to talk about that, and we wanted to sit there and make every other excuse in the world and come up with excuses like, "Oh, they shooting too many threes." That's idiotic. Because Golden State won championship shooting threes. You don't say it's about they shooting too many threes. Let's talk about these bad organizations. Let's talk about how they gypping the fans. NBA ticket, I don't care what arena it is. It ain't cheap. If you want a decent size, if you want a decent seat, you're gonna pay some decent money. And the bigger the city is, you're gonna pay more money. Go to LA, go to New York. You're gonna pay to watch these games here. Go to and then make it so bad. Those type of cities. Well, I can't speak for LA, but if you go to New York to watch a game, you better take the train because there's nowhere to park. So now you got another $40 to park for 2 hours, $10 for a beer. Go watch garbage. Come on, man. It's ridiculous, man. And all that tanking stuff, Skip, I completely disagree with it.
Mm.
Completely disagree with it. Because I think it's too much pressure to put on young kids coming out of college, for one. And number two, historically, it really doesn't work. Basketball is a team sport. Wemby came last year. He did his thing. San Antonio was still sorry. So now you telling fans, give us 5 years. To do what? 5 years to just be relevant? Because you can't guarantee you're gonna win a damn championship in 5 years.
Mm.
So for 4 years, fans are supposed to just waste money, waste time watching this garbage,
Mm.
waste money, and you got a family, you bring your wife and your kids, and you sat there and spent a night out is over 200, 300 bucks in a big city to watch garbage.
Mm.
And then you have the audacity to sit there and talk about the ratings are down. They're supposed to be down, bro.
Mm.
They supposed to be down. Because in no industry that I know, Skip, can you tell people, give us years. I don't know too many industries outside of sports that you can tell people, give us years to get it right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give us years. If I'm a truck driver and I crash every other load, can I tell these people, just give me some years. I'll get it together.
Right. Mhm.
I'm gonna let you chime in, man. I'm a little heated about that because I am totally against tanking.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you did what you wanted to do, let me just get this. Let me just land. If you did what you was, did your best of your ability as an organization, and you know how life goes. Sometimes things just don't work out. Sometimes your players is just not as good as you thought they were, right? Then and you know you guys out there playing hard every night. That's all the fans want to see, Skip.
Mhm.
Your fans out there playing hard every night, and let's just say that it just ain't working for you. Then okay, cool. Give him a top draft choice. But this foolishness that you are losing intentionally, I'm gonna go on record and tell you, fans, stop supporting that garbage. If you want to lose intentionally, go ahead. We'll get back with you when you don't want to win intentionally. I'm good, Skip. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Well, like you said, me and you spoken about this a lot since they put out this BS about this 3-point shot. At the end of the day, everybody ain't gonna like every style of play.
Mm.
But just because you shoot the three or this person gets up and down the court, that still don't mean the game is you're supposed to have a. I'm looking at the standings as you were speaking. Wizards got a 6-32 record. That there's no excuse for that. And then I'm gonna take it a step further in the West. The Pelicans got an 8-32 record.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Pelicans is an epitome of a team that has got the number one pick alive. They've gotten
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis. They got the kid now Zion. That's two number one picks in what the last 15 years. So to your point, putting that kind of pressure on a kid isn't cool. You don't know if it's gonna work or not. You don't know if it's a good fit. It's the organization's job to develop the talent. The organizations, you got to remember that these teams are owned by guys who have other businesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And they businessmen, not necessarily
so
sports fans.
exactly. So at the end of the day, you and I can sit here and talk and say the products suck. You need to invest money into developing talent. You need to get the scouts. They need to have good front offices. But all they know is as looking at the numbers, people still coming through the gate. So all they don't care
For
that
now. For
for
now.
now, for
For
now.
now.
But then even with them
Mm-hmm.
coming through the gate, they just not got a 20-something billion dollar contract for the next 10 years that they got locked in. That has to be shared amongst everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they sell us this crap about they want to win. They sell us this crap about the ratings going down. But I'm like, yo, dog, you can't tell me in good faith. Like, I'm gonna use Minnesota for example, and you and I talk about this all the time. Okay, they traded, they just not made it to the Western Conference Finals. Western Conference Finals, first time in their history. So as a fan, even though they still winning, how can you sell them and you still want to win? Even though they got Julius Randle, but you gonna tell me that it was a salary cap casualty. Owners, you the one who voted on the CBA. So I don't care what market you in. Like you said, you have the resources, you have the money. They love to sell us that the markets make a big difference. Look, let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
something. The market, most of these places, even though it might be LA and a New York, but Charlotte is not a little area the way people ain't spending money. You know what I'm saying? So you telling
Mm-hmm.
me because you in Charlotte, everybody got the same restrictions. You can't do what a Golden State did a couple of years ago because they wasn't afraid to spend their money. So you make rules to protect the owners so they can't spend the money. Golden State was $400 million over the cap with luxury
Mm-hmm.
taxes, but they said they want to win. The Boston Celtics, who just won the championship, spent the money. So what you telling me? You designing the league for me not to spend money. So now I tank. I get a kid who 20, 21 years old, I give him bottom of the barrel money. He don't get max
Yep.
contracts, and we start the
Yep.
process all over again. I don't know if it's
Yep.
gonna work or not, but if I get a kid like Wemby, his second year in the league, Wemby may be earning
Mm-hmm.
what 20, 30 million over the life of his contract before he can re-up. So now you selling me that yo, we're bad because I'm in San Antonio and nobody wants to come to San Antonio. That's bull. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you trying to save money because Adam Silver works for the owners. He don't work
Mm-hmm.
for the people who buying these NBA league passes. He don't work for the man who going to the arena and who got to spend $10, $15 on a beer and 20 and about $20 on about 2 hot dogs for his family. He's not working for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can tell me all you want about the ratings hurt because of style of play. That's bull. If you
Oh.
winning, fans gonna show up. You
Mm-hmm.
trust and believe. If they was if Washington record was, let me see what Washington record is. The Pelicans record 38 and 32. If the Pelican
Mm-hmm.
record was 32 and 8, trust and believe if they was shooting threes, they was grinding it out, they wouldn't be complaining about I don't like the style of play.
That's right.
If you got a 32 and 8 record and you get on TV, people gonna want to watch them play because they're gonna want to know what it's all about.
That's
But
right.
ain't nobody trying to watch no 8 and 32.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So you need, and the word that I'm looking for is parity. That's why so many people watch football because there's so many teams that are trying to win. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to change the problem in the NBA, do something to discourage losing. You can't get it number one. Like now, Independent Rob says to sell your team. Probation, sell your team. I don't know if I agree with that because if it's your money, you do what you want to do with your money. But I also don't agree if you're gonna play like that, that you should still be getting rewarded for it. They should take some picks
All right.
from you. You shouldn't be able to get the number one pick in consecutive years. If you consecutively stink, maybe we start taking some money away from you and start putting it back in the revenue share
But
pot.
but that yeah, that's what you do. But that because when you say consecutive years, that happens once in a blue. I think
Well, because when we
for a
put it, you
team,
shouldn't be
yeah,
like in baseball. If you get the number one pick and you stink back to back years, they got it to where you can't get the number one pick for a couple of years, or you can't get a high lottery pick. Like you can't even be in the top four. And don't quote me on this. I got to go do some more research, but I know it's something to the
hmm
extent that they discourage you from being consistently bad.
yeah,
And if you don't spend the
yeah,
money, if you got money and you don't want to spend your money on players in free agency, they penalize you for that and make you give the money back.
yeah, yeah. They because it gotta be something like that because you bad for business, bro.
Yeah.
So if I was the like I've worked semi-pro leagues, right? So it's basically the same concept as the NBA on a smaller level, right? And what I mean by that is some teams were just bad for business in different ways. They was just bad for business. So some teams, I mean, you can't just do this in the NBA, but some teams had to get thrown out
Mhm.
because they was just bad for business. You have a team from Indiana playing against a team from Chicago, one state away.
Mhm.
The guy calls the last minute, we ain't coming. Meantime, you don't rent a gym, you don't sold tickets, and now he's telling you we can't make it. And it's just that simple. And then those are the teams that we was looking to get rid of because it was like, okay, we gotta get rid of these guys because these guys are just bad for business. And that's what the Washingtons and the Charlottes, Hornets, those teams like that right now, the Brooklyn Nets. These guys are just bad for business.
Mhm.
And if so basically, and if I'm a higher at higher team, a good team, I have to look at those teams and be like, yo, y'all bad for business. Because when Washington comes to Boston, unless you just a diehard fan and you just like to see because you got different type of fans. You got some fans that just say, man, I like to see my team kick anybody ass. That's me. I don't care who they play. They can play a AAU team. If I'm rooting for you, I just want to see you win. But then you got fans that's saying, I'm not going because that game is not competitive. We're going to beat up on Washington. We're going to beat the Nets. So I'm not going. And it's one thing if you're a season ticket holder and you just throw your tickets up on one of those platforms to sell it and just let anybody that may have not regularly go to that game have the opportunity to get some good seats for a good price. That's one thing, right? But what about the people who don't have season tickets and they just go, periodically? I just go, and whenever I'm ready to go, I just go purchase tickets. You're losing money on those people because they're gonna say, if I'm a fan that, let's say I go 10 games a year, that's not gonna be one of the 10 games I choose.
Exactly.
So this is why I say those teams are bad for business, Skip. And then when you bring these guys in that are businessmen, like you said, and you gotta have some fan in you. You can't just be straight up business. When Bruce Ratner came and took over the Nets, he just tore the whole team down. He let Kenyon Martin, all them go for nothing, and all he wanted to do was build the stadium that they got right now in Brooklyn. But it was bad for business for the Nets. They won like 18 games, 15 games, or something like that. It was really bad for business. And I don't know no business that can survive when you say F the fans, F the customers. Because now, even with those TV deals, we could throw those big numbers out there. But we got to read those contracts and see what stipulations are in there. So we can you got 10 years out there. But who's to say they don't have some stipulations that say we don't get this type of ratings, we don't have to pay you this, we got to pay you that. Who's to say that?
And I believe that's the only way that's the only thing to get their attention, because at the end of the day, like you said, there's no business that can say F the consumer. Not in the regular world. But when you got these, because let's just think about it though. 9 out of 10 times, it ain't too many people gonna quit coming to watch if they really like it. You still gonna have about 75.
Not everybody, Skip. Not everybody. Let me stop you, Skip. Not everybody is going to quit. Just let's be crystal clear. If I had a club, right? If I'm packing my club holds 1,000 people, and I'm packing it every Saturday night, and then things just start going bad in the club. No, I'm not going to lose all 1,000 people. But if I lose a certain amount, if I lose enough, it's going to hit my pockets. So,
but see,
it's going to hit my pocket.
It's going to hit your pocket. But Robert, see, the thing about this ain't the first time that people got turned off from the sport. And a lot of times what these teams will do is they'll relocate or something. You know what I mean? When they don't get the results they want, they'll pick up and move the team. But far as them trying to change up things, they'll run before they try to fix it for where they at. Because they want to blame it on somebody. So they'll say, yo, you know what? Like, prime example. Let's say right now, the guy from Washington said, and I'm just throwing a hypothetical out there. Say he says, you know what? Forget this, yo. I'm going to move the team to Seattle. Because they keep hoping for a team in Seattle or Vegas. So what they would do is, you know what, man? I'll pick this team up and leave Washington and go to Vegas. And I'm just throwing that out there, hypotheticals. So now you screwing the fans in Washington because your sorry ass don't want to do what it takes to make it a better team. So you chasing a dollar. So now you go to Vegas, and now people just clamoring to Vegas because they want to be in Vegas. Now you may put more effort in Vegas because you got more eyes on you out there. But the way the NBA works, like they took that team from Seattle and brought it to OKC. Then they took the team from Vancouver because, like you said, bad for business. They moved from Vancouver and took it to Memphis. So it's like, you damn if this ain't the first time the league went through situations like what we talking about. But instead of them fixing the problem through the league, the team that stinks up the place or ain't making the money, they'll just pick it up and move and take it someplace else.
But then Skip, even with that said, ultimately it lands to where I said it need to land. You have to get better. But both examples you use, they both got better. Because it don't matter. You can't run around the whole country. It don't matter. At some point, you know, there's a level of excitement. Like there's a level of excitement, right?
So what about, let me ask you this. What about Charlotte? So remember Charlotte went to New Orleans and then came back to Charlotte. Well, that's a different franchise. Yeah. They left Charlotte and went to New Orleans, and then they end up bringing another franchise to Charlotte.
Yeah, they brought the Bobcats in. So they got it, they went to Charlotte. And then Bob Johnson came there and he and I would bet, without the ratings in front of me, I would bet those ratings look horrible down there in Charlotte.
Exactly. And I'm saying they consistently, even with them moving that team, they be like, they worse than, they be like, Charlotte was good for a stretch back in the day. But since they came back to the league, they've been consistently sucking. Consistently.
Well, and that's why I said, and I bet you those ratings are horrible out there. See, because this is the thing, especially in cities like Charlotte and all that, there's other things to do.
Right.
Especially in New York, there are other things to do to spend your time going to see a bad team play. Like I said, if you live in a different part of Manhattan, in New York, and you have to actually drive to the Barclays Center, right? You probably, I'm just speaking for experience, you probably get parking 5-6 blocks away from the arena, right? Which is not ideal when it's freezing out there. So, or you got option B, take the train. A lot of New Yorkers who have cars don't like taking trains, you know? So now you doing that, you waiting on a line, waiting to be seated, all this just to go sit down and watch somebody get beat by 20 or 30.
So
it just doesn't add up, man.
Let me ask you this then. You gave one solution that you think will fix the tanking. What's another solution that if you had to say off the top of your head, as a fan, if you was given the job today and this was your team, what would you, if you was David, if you was, what's the guy name? Adam Silver. What would you implement?
I would use your idea. I would use your idea because your idea with the revenue sharing. Because I would say, yo, if we got 30 teams, and let's say this 15 or 20 is pulling in the majority of the money, you 10 bums ain't pulling no money in like that. Why should we bust this down with y'all? Because we'll do a deduction and a revenue share. Because some arenas are sold out every night. You know, and then like even with the TV deal, we sharing the money for the TV deal. When we put some teams, we can't even put y'all on TV. So why are we busting this money down evenly? Like how we said before off the record, what it all really boils down to is hope. Only one team going to ultimately win an NBA championship by the end of the season. That's only one team. However, it's a long season that goes from October until you eliminate it. So if you Cleveland Cavaliers, if you OKC, you don't think those fans are smiling?
Yeah.
Because you got hope. You know, you have hope at this stage of the game. You have hope. That's what life is built off of. Life is built off of that, hey, this can get better. You dig what I'm saying? So if we are sitting there and you telling the team in not even January, like December, November. Their
Yeah,
season is over.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And let me tell America a
Come
quick
on,
story.
man.
Let me tell America something real quick while we on the record. The reason why Independent Rob is so adamant and upset now is because I'm gonna say this. I predicted the I said New Jersey. I'm being old, but the Brooklyn Nets to win 21 games. They started out the season great. I even had to backtrack and get them some props. Independent Rob, with the word he used, had hope that, dang, well, we probably can make the playoffs and make some noise. They got a great coach, got some young talent over there. So then when they realized that they were maybe about to get out the lottery, next thing you know, they started pawning off talent. They started giving away certain players for nothing. Now, Independent Rob think everybody on the team need to get garner 2, 3 first round draft picks, but that's no head no debt. Because some of those players did deserve more, they were more worth, more valuable than what they got. Especially with Jersey, I mean the Nets. Because they were playing real good. The kid Cam Thomas, he was playing outstanding. They shut him down. They got rid of Dorian Finney-Smith. So now, and then they got rid of Schroeder. So now Independent Rob, like, what's really good? We in the playoff hunt. Now we going to the cellar. So as a fan, I understand that they start up giving you hope, then they pull a rug from under you. Because I'm be honest, and I'm going on record. I'm not gonna say this very many more times because Independent Rob gonna record this, archive it at the beginning of the season after about 15, 20 games. I will say that I was impressed with what Brooklyn did with what they was working with the new coach they got. So it was very disappointing the way Brooklyn did that. But that is how this NBA is working right now. Nobody wants to address that your team start pushing and pushing and pushing. Then the next thing you know, oh, we might don't get Cooper Flag, so we might want to start losing. But why not work with what you got already?
Right.
Why not build off, even though Independent want to make it seem like Cam Thomas and next Kobe Bryant or something like that? But hell, why not start trying to develop him and maybe you do got something in Cam Thomas? But you telling this kid and this young coach, look, we gonna stunt y'all growth because we see a bigger vision with something that you've never seen play before. You don't know what Cooper Flag gonna do, even if you can get him.
Yeah.
You know, so
But let's land on this, Skip. Let's close out on this, Skip. It brings it back to your point, which was you go get that person, that player, right? You sell hope for a fraction of the price
yeah,
of a player who has more years in the league.
yeah,
And that's just what it all boils down to. You know, NBA tanking is not about rebuilding a team.
exactly,
It's not about that. It's about saving money.
exactly,
That's what NBA take because these rookies are only allowed to get but so much money.
yeah,
And being that they're only allowed to get so much money, you give them that. And you know, you get a guy like Cooper Flag, he's gonna come in with a bigger notoriety than let's say Emmanuel Quickly, who just got 175.
mm,
So if we looking at it from a business perspective, who you want to go with? Do you want to
mm-hmm.
go with a guy with a bigger name that legally you can pay less? Or do
Mm,
you want to go with the experience and legally you could pay more?
mm. And I'm gonna go on record and say this, and I know this we got to get off the air, but I gotta say this. I'm gonna let you know how the tanking process works. It don't always happen the way it happened in Brooklyn. It don't always happen where people just start losing games all the way. Prime example, Sacramento. Somebody had to be the fall guy because now they feel like they've reached their peak. They got to start paying people on that team. Mike Brown went
Mhm.
first. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get that kid De'Aaron Fox out of that next because he on a max contract. Once he leaves, what you got left? DeMar DeRozan old. He about to come off the books. So now your star player, franchise player gone. DeRozan money out the books. And now you're gonna say, "Yo, we need to start getting rid of pieces because we can't win a championship." But that was the plan the whole time. Now we back in a cycle of tanking money.
But Skip, that might be a bad example because Sacramento like on a 7-game winning streak, 8-game winning streak.
But how long is that gonna last realistically? Because they already got in the background, and I'm hearing reports that they want to get rid of Fox, and then that'd be probably the biggest mistake they make. But that was the plan anyway. So they're gonna get rid of Fox. It's coming. I'm going on record saying it because Independent Rob already trying to get it to happen because he's sending me old Photoshop things with, a Nets jersey already. But that's another topic. But they might be on a 7-game win streak right now, but the bottom gonna fall out that thing pretty soon. I'm going on record saying it, and they're gonna tear the whole thing down and try to add it. They start from scratch. But I digress.
Well, I'm gonna go on record and say this and land here. Doug Christie is the greatest coach in Sacramento history.
Ha ha ha!
And with that,
peace.
I want to thank you guys for watching, man. Peace.
This dude said Doug Christie.